Hi, it's Michelle here again with Birth Uhura. Here at Birth Uhura, I am a full spectrum plant eating, holistic doula, and an advocate for all things safe, natural, and effective. Here on this channel, we discuss all things pregnancy, birth, and womb health related. So if you guys like the content, you like what you hear on the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Today's topic is going to be, unfortunately, about postpartum depression. And I say unfortunately because it is very unfortunate that such a large group of us women have to deal with postpartum depression. Um, so let's just begin with talking about what postpartum depression is. So the very vague understanding of postpartum depression is basically a depression experienced by a woman after childbirth due to hormonal changes, psychological adjustments, and basically exhaustion. This is very vague because it only speaks about a very small set of instances. Like, okay, yeah, all of us will deal with hormonal changes after a baby. We just birthed a baby. Everything, our progesterone levels and all of that stuff will drop. It will plummet. It will almost cease to exist, most of the time. And our iron will deplete itself, and magnesium, and all of these different things, especially if we have not really taken care of ourselves during pregnancy. A lot of us are going into pregnancy already deficient in a lot of different areas. And then we are depleted by the baby or our entire pregnancy, and then we are depleted again through childbirth. And so, of course, our body is going to go into shock. Of course, we are going to feel like, oh my God, what just happened? I just literally had a baby. Sometimes we're dehydrated. Sometimes we're lacking sleep. Sometimes we're not being supported properly. Sometimes we just have gone through birth trauma. We've had a traumatizing experience. That is another thing that can happen. Sometimes we could have been experiencing a loss. Sometimes we could be experiencing things that come up that has happened to us in the past because of childbirth, reminding us of something that we might have gone through, or whatever the case may be. Maybe because we just had a baby in a pandemic. All of these things are reasons that a woman would experience postpartum depression or some mood disorder after having a child. Now, I want to talk about so a few people have come to me and asked me, a few women have come to me and asked me, and even a couple of men have asked me, like, well, how do you deal with postpartum depression? How do you avoid it? How do you stop it from happening? Because yes, it is very common, and that sucks because it shouldn't be so common. It shouldn't be the normal thing. But it takes work. It takes planning. It takes a village. It takes people caring enough. It takes empathy. It takes our partners stepping up, especially when we don't have other family involved. It takes, our children becoming more independent, the siblings, especially if they're teenagers, if they're older. It takes for grandparents to, walk in their role. It takes our neighbors playing their role. It takes all of these different things, all of these different people, and all of these different offerings for someone to feel loved and cared for and understood. Simple things that can be done. Making sure family mom has food, making sure she's hydrated, making sure she was able to take a shower, making sure the house is not too messy. Lightening the load, do some errands for her, pick the mail out the mailbox, allow her time to bond with the baby in peace without, all of the different things. Allow her time to possibly bond with the other siblings by taking the baby for a little while, whether it's a sister, whether it's a doula, whether it's the partner. Because a lot of times we don't understand that when mom has baby, that it's a new baby and the sibling feels left out. And so we feel that. We feel like we're not doing enough because we can't cater to everybody all at the same time. So sometimes it takes balancing it out and taking turns. Night feeding should be, taken. If I had just had a baby, and this is something that me and my partner did, if I fed my children, breastfeed, because I nursed all my kids, so I fed them, and they're no longer on the boob, then we would switch out. He would take the baby, and I would rest. And then when the baby would wake up and need to eat again, he would bring me the baby back. And this is just for the first couple of weeks because it is important for moms to get rest. You become delirious. You become distraught. You become agitated, angry when you don't get enough sleep. That's anybody. That's the average person will feel that. So imagine a person who has just depleted all of their vital minerals and just had a child. The body is trying to come back up to speed. The immune system is trying to figure itself out. They are also going to be deeply, very much in need of rest. So there is really no cure. Because someone asked me what's the cure for postpartum depression. I said, well, a cure, no. But things to do that will alleviate this thing and it's really just support. It's emotional support, it's mental support, it's physical support. Talking to her, letting her talk about her birth experience, letting her talk about her feelings, giving her a moment to sit with those thoughts. It's so much. Allowing her 15-20 minutes to go sit in the sun. The sun is a healer. We don't understand how much vitamin D3 is amazing. It's so, give her a tall glass of water or a good nice hot cup of herbal tea that's gonna boost those minerals and put that iron back in her body, that magnesium back in her body, and let her sit in the sun for 15-20 minutes. Give her a chance to read a book. We have to remember that she is not just a mom. She is a person. She was a person before she was a mother. And yes, we love being mothers. We love it, and we would not change it. But we need to nourish ourselves. We need to get back to ourselves. We don't have to stay, clamped down by the household chores and all of the children and all of these different things. And let me just say this, I'm not bashing partners. Let me just put that out there. But guys, we got to do a better job. I have been asking so many women, who do you have? Like, who do you have asked? Do you have a partner? And a lot of them, yes, I have a husband or I have a partner and they're here, but they're not helping. We don't always want to be vocal about being helped. It is hard for us, especially in Western society. We are made to believe that if we cannot have a child, bounce back, look good in 3 days, go back to work, get back to riding my husband's thing in 6 weeks, and then, do all of that stuff around the house and cook and clean and take care of all the kids, that somehow we are less than superhuman. You are a superwoman just for being able to have a child. I don't care about none of the extra stuff. My opinion is that work and pregnancy, it don't go together. It don't go together. And that's just me. I have heard people say, oh, that's lazy. And no, it's not lazy. If you did it, amazing for you. The body systems, all of these different systems is working over time. That is enough work. That is enough work to be doing. You are birthing freaking generations with your body, with your blood, with your everything. And then people say things like, oh, that's lazy, or they shame somebody because they didn't snap back to the size that they were. This is all the reason for postpartum depression. Y'all need to mind your business, okay? Y'all need to mind the business that pays you. If you want to go to work, if you want to do this, if you went back to a size 5, that's your business. You don't got to tell the next woman, oh, well, I did this and I breastfed for this long and I went right back to my same size and I was working out in 4 weeks and I did this and I did that. That's your business. Everybody don't need to know that. The next woman does not need to compare herself to you or try to keep up with your standards. Men, same thing. Be mindful. She cannot just, oh yeah, she did it the first time, she did it the second time. 9 times out of 10, we having children, we 25, 19. We are not prime, we're young. We keep having children year after year. Your body takes a hit every single time. You cannot expect me to do what I did at 20, at 32, at 35. Like, it doesn't work like that. You know, and we don't always want to be vocal. We don't always want to just say, babe, can you do this for me? Or, hey, I need a glass of water, or this is that and the third. Take initiative. You know, take initiative. If you see the house is dirty, tidy it up. If the kids are yelling, quiet them down. If she doesn't have water by her bed, bring her water to her bed. Like, it is simple, small, little things. It's 24 hours out of the day. Simple acts of kindness. Hug her. Tell her everything is going to be okay. Give her a kiss on the forehead. You're doing amazing. You're beautiful. You know, I still love you. All of those things are important. You know, family. Make a visit. Go out to the house. Do a potluck. Everybody get together and cook a dish. Something that you can freeze. Soups, stews. Something easy to throw in the refrigerator that can last for a little bit. You know what I mean? And so that they have food for the week or so. Or they don't have to worry about, you know, getting up and going to the market. Go shopping for them. It's really about a village. And this is also something that I want to talk to women about. But when you are pregnant, and you know that you may have moved away from your family, because I see a lot of this, and people say, oh, I moved and I was this many miles away from my family, or I moved across the country, or I moved out of the country and it was only me and my husband. And you get pregnant. You have to plan. Postpartum planning is important. Birth plans are good, but postpartum plans are just as great. Think about what you're going to need. Organize your home. Make food ahead of time. Put them in something that you can freeze. You know, make large batches of soup, large batches of, you know, whatever, and freeze them. Something that can be reheated. You know, it's not something that we can play with. Postpartum is not something that we can play with. We have to be diligent. We have to be on point. We have to build community. It's important. We need community when we are having children. Something that I do that people may not agree with, but I really don't care, is that I offer wet nursing services. I still produce milk. You know, my youngest is 3. I still produce milk. But there are times where I go to clients' houses and I feed their children if they allow me to, if they agree to that. And I give them a break and I give them a rest. This is not for the weak. It's not something that everybody would want to do. This is something that I do. This is something that I offer. If they don't want me to feed from breast, I pump it. And that is okay. And it is what it is. I'm all about supporting choices. But when I go as a doula, when I go for my postpartum visits, I am bringing food. I am bringing some kind of healing kit, body butter, head wraps, socks to keep the feet warm. I am bringing teas. I am bringing gifts. I am bringing things to remind them that you have done an amazing job and I am so proud of you. And that is important. Now, I have come into a conversation where there's people who have gone a little bit far in this pregnancy but have experienced, this is a trigger here before anybody goes further, it's a trigger about loss. I don't want you to keep moving forward if this is not something you want to hear about. But there has been women, quite a few, who have reached out and said, hey, well, what about us who experience postpartum depression due to a loss? That is that's a lot to take in, and it's very tough. But we want to support them too. We want to have resources for them. We want to create memories for them. We want to allow them to speak about their feelings, cry, yell, curse, do whatever they need to do, and just listen. We want to hug if they like hugs. We want to sit with them. We want to send them, empathetic notes. We want to be there for them. We want to feed them too. We want to nourish them too, because they too just have been depleted. Their immune system has just also took a hit. We want to feed them. We want to do all of those things. We want to support father. Make sure he is okay. You know what I mean? We want these things. We want to check in on them. Sometimes they like quiet. They don't want to talk right now. That's okay. Give them the space that they need. Give them the space that they need. When they are ready to talk, they will talk, but just to let them know we are here when you are ready. Spiritually pray for them, affirm for them, keep that baby in memory, address that baby by name if they have a name. Avoid saying things like, oh, it's okay, you can try again. You're young. Avoid saying any of those things, because that debunks all of their feelings. And that's basically saying like, oh, you shouldn't feel this because you can do this, you can do that. No, that baby meant something to them. They love that baby just like they love the rest of their children, live or if they have not had one, they love that child. They were expecting that child. And it's important for us to be mindful of those things too. It's important for us to create safe spaces so that they are able to talk about that. And they don't feel ashamed. And they don't feel, like they have done something wrong. Because they didn't. They did everything they could do to secure and to nourish and to love that child. And so it is important to discuss those things too. When our friends have experienced a miscarriage, I don't care if it was at 7 weeks or at 37 weeks. They need to be cared for. They need to be loved, nurtured, supported, nourished. Same thing applies. Just a little bit more gentle when it's a grieving family. Have to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more, assertive in your energy, because they need that. They need to feel like somebody understands what they are going through. They need to feel like their feelings are valid and that the emotional roller coaster is not something that only they are going through. It hurts all of us, especially if we love them, but we have to be strong for them, and we have to allow them the space, the opportunity to go through the process of grief. And so whatever that looks like, bringing them gifts, bringing them food, giving them space, cuddling with them, taking a nap with them, making a playlist for them that, brings uplifting emotions. Send them flowers, send them cards, love on them. That's important. Allow them the opportunity to speak on their own behalf and their feelings. Tell them to write a story. Tell them to start a blog. Maybe it gives them some sort of relief. Maybe it helps them connect with other people in that same circumstances. And all of these things are important. Everything is not going to work for everybody, but that's why it's so many things that we can do. We find what works. We talk to them. We be open with them. We be vulnerable with them. And so this is how we get back to thriving after pregnancy. We nourish ourselves throughout pregnancy. We love on ourselves. We care for our bodies. We have these children, and then the village must care for us. We have to build this community. We have to plan. We have to plan for postpartum, in the world that we live in. We don't have the same villages that we used to have. We don't have the same grandmothers and grandfathers that were a part of the village the way they were. And so when we don't have that, when we don't have a village, when we don't have a community, we must plan. We must know that this is not something to play with. That it is not like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. Oh, because I got it all under control. And I'm a lot of times it's like, oh, my pregnancy was going so well. I feel good. Everything is good. That means nothing. That means nothing. You need support. You need empathy. You need kindness, compassion, love. physical hands-on support. All of that stuff matters. Partners need to be present. You know, just because I had 1, 2, 3, 4 babies does not mean, oh, she got it under control. She did this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. No. Step up. Do your part. For the first 40 days, they are critical. They are critical. We got women out here killing themselves, you know, due to postpartum depression. Speaking out, crying out, asking for help, everything. And nobody's listening. And they're killing themselves. Babies are dying because of this. It's not a game. It is not a game. This is disgusting. It is sad, and we need to build more resources for this. You know, even with the hospital, 6 weeks, one or two checkups in 6 weeks is nothing. We need home visits. We need something. We need people coming out, cleaning services. We need all of these things. We are doing a major part in keeping the world going. We are birthing people. We are birthing scientists. We are birthing doctors. We are birthing astronauts. We are birthing freedom fighters. We are birthing athletes. We are birthing, you know, musicians. We are birthing all of the people that make the world turn. This is what we are doing. We are giving life. So we need to be supported. We need that. That's just the bottom line. Like, we have to figure this out. We have to stop just assuming that every woman is strong enough and powerful enough and amazing enough, and that we are, but we deserve to relax. We deserve to be vulnerable. We deserve to be weak. Because when we step into the power, we are in there. We there. So when we step back, somebody else needs to take the time. Somebody else needs to figure this out. So that's my take on it. This is how we get back to building strong, powerful families and keeping women thriving after childbirth. If you have any other suggestions, please drop them. They could save somebody. If you have anything you want to speak out about, if you have experienced this, if you want to tell your story, reach out to me. Talk to me. We can arrange for that. You can drop it in the comments. We can speak about it. We can do whatever. But this is really, really a controversial subject, but it's also really it just needs to be, the conversation needs to be had. The conversation needs to be had. Because a lot of us are not speaking up. A lot of us are not talking because we don't want to be shamed and looked at as not enough. But you are. You are enough to me. You are enough to that baby. And that's really pretty much what matters. You are worthy to be supported. You are worthy for all of these things. It's no reason why you should not be supported. But yeah, we have to change how society views this thing. And I see so many people, especially men, just like, oh, birth is normal, but women have babies every day, and this, that. And it's like, well, yeah, you're going to think that because you haven't done it. And your body didn't go through what it went through. You didn't almost die, giving birth to your child. You didn't have to go into shock and let go of your old self to become a new person so that you could deal with the intensity of birth. You didn't have to become a new person. Your spirit did not have to change. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot of things that we have to get out of feeling like. And we have to get out of these ridiculous views, and we have to step into loving the people that deserve to be loved in the time that they deserve it. So that's my take on it. I hope this was useful, helpful. I hope this made somebody feel, like they aren't complaining, like they aren't whining, and that they should get exactly what internally they feel they need. It's your instincts. You know what you need, and you deserve it each and every time that you need it. So I'm going to close this video out. Thank you guys for coming and tuning in. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Again, I'm Michelle from Birthy Hoorah. Peace and Pregnancy Desk.